Hello everyone, my name is Nargis Nasreen and today we are going to start a new topic, that is SQL. So let's start, and in this we are going to cover each and every topic, and in today's class we'll be trying to understand about this, that is the theory part of SQL. So it stands for Structured Query Language. So let me write down everything so that you can also make notes properly, and let me reduce the line a little bit. Okay. So it stands for Structured Query Language. Okay. Now, why do we use SQL? So it is basically a programming language that is designed for working with databases. Like when we have to work with databases, in that case we use SQL. Okay. So let me write down this as well. It is a programming language which is specifically I'm sorry for the handwriting, but I'm saying all these words also, so I hope you will understand. So it is a programming language that is specifically designed for working with databases. Okay, and it is one of the most famous languages. And if you're going to see the reports of different years of the top 5 most famous languages, I think SQL will be there. So it's a very important language. Now, why do we use it? Like we already know, we use it to work with databases. So what we can do in this? So it basically allows us to create, manipulate, share data from different, let's say, relational database management system, like that is RDBMS. So it allows us to create, manipulate, share data. There are multiple things that we can do. I'm just writing few that we can do. There are so many things that we can do using SQL. Now, I'm just writing RDBMS. You can write down the full form of this also, that is Relational Database Management System, RDBMS. Okay. Now, so there's a different way of doing writing code in different programming language. So what is the pattern that we follow in SQL? So in SQL we write queries, okay, because it is called as a structured query language. So we write queries, okay. So what happens in them? So let's try to understand through this definition, that is, it allows us to write queries that the computer can execute, and what we will get after the computer is going to execute this, and then it will provide provides database insights in return. Okay, like if you have a big data set and you want to filter the data on some basis, let's say you have a record of different students from a school, and you want to find out the record of those students who have scored 90 plus in maths. So you can write down the query for that, and it is going to show you all the records of those particular students. Okay. Now, why do we use SQL? Like there are multiple, like we are basically going to use MySQL. Okay. So why? It is because it is very easy to learn. There are so many things because we are going to use this. And one of the most important thing is it is like open source. It is free. There's another one that is called as Oracle, which is a paid service, but we do not have to do that, because when we are going to learn about these structured query languages, they're not much different. There are so many like Oracle, MariaDB or PostgreSQL, so many. You can go and search about those. So it's not like if you're going to switch companies and there's another type of language or query language is needed, you do not have to start from the scratch. There is only minor differences, like how you are transferring the data from one database to another database and the way of writing the query. Otherwise, the logic is kind of same. Even the syntax is kind of similar. There's just some difference. Okay, so it will not be a problem for you to switch to any other language, query language in future. Okay, so let's write about some points like why are we learning this. So it is easy to learn. Then we can say it is reliable. It is open source. That means it's free. There's so many points involved. We are not going to discuss all of those because we know that this is what we'll be learning because it is good. Okay. Now let's talk about a few more things. Let's say, as I said, like using this programming languages, we can specifically, it is designed for working with databases. So like what is this exactly? So in a database, what happens? We have different data. We can say we have different record. Okay, so all those data values, let me write it down so that we can understand properly. So data values make up one record. So what's the meaning of this? Let's take your example. So not just yours. Let's take the example where let's say that you are in grade 10. Okay, and we are going to store the data of each and every student who are your classmates. Okay, and so what we will do, we are going to store the name of that person, email, phone number, parents name, address, this kind of things. Okay, so let's say we are storing your data. So your every data values like your name, your email, your parents phone number, or your address. So all of those will make one record. Okay, now let's talk about a different point, that is a record is each entry that exists in a table. Same meaning, like the whole data records that we have, the whole data values that we have makes up a table. Okay, so every record in each entry that, so it is we can say so the record that is each entry that exists in a table. So yeah, it is kind of similar. The two are kind of similar. You can understand. So you can say that as data values, or you can call that as record. It has same meaning. Okay, and what that is actually called. So in general terms, we call that as row of a table, right? Row of a table. Okay, let me give you an example so that we can understand well. So I will be doing this. Just give me. Okay. Let me increase the size. So I have this picture here with some records inside, okay, of some different students. So what is happening here? Let's say. So here, student name, date of joining, course name, and the contact number. So we are talking about the second or the first one, like Ramesh Chandra. So he joined on 1st of January 2014, and the course name is .NET, and this is his phone number. So about Ramesh Chandra, whatever details are present here, it is one record, or we can say row of the table. Okay. Now, let's talk about a different point that is called as, I am going to now do one thing, that is, I hope that you have written everything down. So what I will do now, I will take a new page, okay? And I will take that picture again so that we can understand. I hope it is visible. So now let's talk about this, and here we are going to write about, there's another term that is called as field. So what is this? Let's try to understand. So field is nothing, it's just a column of the table. Okay, so a column in a table containing specific information about every record in a table. Okay, simple. So what is field? Field is nothing but a column. So student name, this is a column. So in this student name, only the names of the students are going to be there. So it is containing specific information. It's not like inside the name we're putting date of joining. No, we cannot do that. Okay. So this is called as column, and this is, or we can say add this as field also. This is called as field also. Okay. And the rows are called as record also. Okay, so try to get all these words. These are keywords that will be continuously used. They are very, very important. Okay, because not every time we are going to use rows and columns. So now let's try to understand a few different terms. Okay, so I'm going to write on one more definition here, and that is called as entity. So what is this? So the smallest unit that can contain a meaningful set of data. Okay, so the smallest unit that can contain a meaningful data set of data is called an entity. Okay, so there are two types of entity, that is horizontal entity and vertical entity. So rows are called horizontal entity, and columns are called vertical entity. Okay, so yeah, that's it. This is what we have to talk about, and about the theory part. There's so many theory parts, but along with that, we'll be doing the coding also. Like we are going to write on the queries as well from the next class onwards. And let me tell you what application I will be using. So I will use Workbench, MySQL Workbench for that. And if you do not, if you have something else, you can use that. That's really much fine. But if you want to use the same application, that is a MySQL Workbench, and you do not have that installed in your system, so I will be putting a video and link in the YouTube. I also followed that video. It's such a good video, and the person has explained everything really well, all the steps. So I will put that. Okay. I will really not making video on that because I don't think I will be able to explain that well. So that is why I will put the video link in the description. Okay. And that's all about this. This was just the introduction of SQL. I hope you have understood. If you have any questions, you can always ask in the comment section. And see you in the next class. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye-bye.